Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 4 of the course here. Got our little bit of scenery up here, and this week's topic is working through challenges. I'll keep this short to the point. There's a lot of current events going on, and so part of my working through challenges is coping with current event challenges. One of the things we gotta, while current events can be or may be important, depending on what the issue is, they are also a distraction to add to the list of distractions you may already have. So depending on your individual situation and what's going on, it may or may not impact you. If it does, it's a distraction. And so one of the things is it's just another obstacle, it's another hurdle that gets in your way. And again, I'm not downplaying the importance of different events going on. I'm just saying you got to keep perspective. An event may be important to you, but don't let the events be in charge of you. All right. Events are not an excuse to replace responsibility. You have, you got responsibilities to yourself, to your family, friends, your job, a church, other things you may have going on in your life, and there's also school. Just because things are happening doesn't mean you ignore the other things in life. You got to be aware of the events, but stay focused on your responsibility. Don't let the events overtake your focus in life. Stay focused on your goals and be responsible. And again, I show this pretty much every week about staying focused, manage your time, get rid of the distractions, and accomplish your goals. And so that's my point this week. And so that'll do that part. All right, so on to week 4 here real quick. As far as the previous weeks are going, good work in the discussions, homeworks, and again, if there's any issues with the homework, I would have sent it back to you. And I may or may not have told you about this before. If you submit a homework that is really, really off or bad or it's a fail, I'm going to send it back to you to resubmit with notes on where you might make an error on or something. So just submit homeworks, and if it is bad, then I will get it back to you. You don't have to worry about getting a fail or grade on a certain subject, because the whole point is for you to to learn the material. So don't let that stop you from submitting homework and things like that. So, but anyway, on to week 4 here. So you got 3 chapters this upcoming week, chapters 10, 11, and 12. They have to do with wage determination, inequality, poverty, and more on wage determination. So this is an interesting topic because, I'll mention a couple things that may or may not be in the chapters, but there's always the minimum wage argument, and and there's always resistance to it. And the resistance is not necessarily because people don't want to provide a minimum wage and quality of life and all that. It has to do with structure of the economy and payroll taxes and things like that. Every time, and going back, I remember back when I used to work with Domino's, and they'd be a pay, um, a minimum wage pay increase. It impacted the business. People lost jobs, or prices were raised. And unfortunately, over the years and decades now, the cost of living has not kept up with the economy. And so there's also things about, the big corporations make all this money. Yeah, and they do pay big salaries, but they pay more out in their stocks. And the way most businesses are today, they have 401ks, and all these profits from these stocks go into those 401ks. So sometimes the very people who are complaining are actually getting in their 401k the benefits from these corporations because of how the retirement plans work. So there's a lot of involvement. I'm not saying minimum wage isn't high enough. I mean, it isn't. It needs to go up, but there has to be a way to do it. One of my personal thoughts on the issue is payroll taxes. Corporations, and most people in Congress have never owned a business. They really don't understand what it costs to run a business, and that's why so many businesses go out of business. Uh, Back when they did the Affordable Care Act, businesses, small businesses opted not to do the insurance for their employees because it would have bankrupted them. And same thing with payroll. Sometimes when places raise the payroll tax, it causes some businesses to go out of business. So, or they raise minimum wage, same thing. Um, so one way to fix that is, get rid of the payroll taxes that employers have to pay. Because if you look on your paycheck, and if you didn't know about this, the deductions you have on, things like unemployment, your Medicare, and so forth, are matched by employers. So, and it's also based on percentages. So when there's a pay raise, um, that pay raise, if you're getting $10 an hour, it's really costing an employer about $13 an hour to 14 because of the taxes they pay. So if you get a bump up to 15, well, it's really costing the employer about $21, $22. And when you start adding that up, it's a big number. Oops. There's also Walmart's an example. There was a study done on Walmart. If Walmart was to suddenly bump, even though they make these billions in profits, if they bumped all their employees up to 15 an hour, now this is like a couple of years ago, there would be no Walmart. They'd go out of business in a week because they wouldn't have the money to pay the payroll taxes. So there's ways to fix it, and that's for another discussion. But anyway, so this week you got those 3 chapters. All right, and with that, I'll let you go. Just pay attention to your quizzes every week because they're the final. Okay, so a lot of the same questions are in there. All right, so I'll let you go. Have a great week. If you need anything, just get in touch with me. And so here's the test question. You've got a t-shirt there. See if you can read what's on the t-shirt. I use these little apps sometimes for and a cartoon thing, the pictures. Or you can look at this one too. So this was like from back in November. So either one. Let me know what you think. And that'll do it. Take care, everybody.